Welcome to World Prism. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. To understand the US-Canada trade standoff, we need to start with tariffs, a tax on imported goods. Tariffs are one of the oldest tools in international trade, and they play a crucial role in shaping the flow of goods between countries. By imposing tariffs, governments can influence what products enter their markets and at what price, often with far-reaching consequences for businesses and consumers alike. Imagine a Chinese electric car shipped to the US. It arrives after a long journey across the ocean, ready to compete with American-made vehicles on dealership lots. Before it hits the showroom, the government adds a tariff, making it more expensive. This extra cost is often passed on to consumers, raising the sticker price and changing how buyers make decisions. The goal? To encourage Americans to buy domestic products by making imports pricier. This policy is designed to give local manufacturers a competitive edge, supporting homegrown businesses and workers. Tariffs protect local industries and jobs, but they also raise prices for consumers. While factories may stay busy and workers keep their jobs, families might find themselves paying more for everyday goods, from cars to electronics. If a foreign car is cheaper, a tariff can tip the scales in favor of the local option. This can shift consumer demand, sometimes dramatically, and alter the competitive landscape in the marketplace. But tariffs can spark retaliation. Other countries hit back with their own taxes, escalating into trade wars. These disputes can quickly spiral, affecting not just cars, but a wide range of products and industries. This is the backdrop for the current US-Canada dispute, where tariffs have disrupted industries and strained relations. Factories have closed, jobs have been lost, and uncertainty has rippled through both economies. The Trump administration's sweeping tariffs weren't just about one country, they reshaped global trade. These policies sent shockwaves through international markets, forcing companies and governments to rethink their strategies. For Canada, whose economy is tightly linked to the US, these moves have created major challenges. Canadian businesses that rely on exports to the US have faced new hurdles, from higher costs to unpredictable regulations. Now, Canada's new Prime Minister faces the task of protecting national interests in a turbulent economic landscape. Navigating these trade tensions will require careful negotiation, creative solutions, and a clear vision for the future of Canadian industry. Enter Prime Minister Mark Carney, elected in April 2025 to steer Canada through this trade storm. Carney isn't a career politician, he's a former governor of both the Bank of England and Bank of Canada, with deep expertise in global finance. Canadians chose him for his calm, data-driven approach and his reputation as a pragmatic dealmaker. Carney's strategy defends Canadian interests but seeks stability, not confrontation. He's made resolving the tariff crisis his top priority, engaging directly with President Trump and keeping communication channels open. Carney argues that strong US-Canada cooperation benefits both economies, especially in sectors like automotive manufacturing. His challenge: convince a protectionist US administration that partnership, not conflict, is the way forward. Every move he makes is closely watched by Canadians, allies, and rivals alike. President Trump's tariffs are the centerpiece of his America First policy, aimed at reversing what he sees as decades of unfair trade. The administration's 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles is designed to block low-cost imports and protect US industry. Trump argues that foreign subsidies and cheap goods have hurt American jobs, especially in manufacturing. The tariffs extend beyond China. Canada and other allies have also been hit, with Canadian goods facing tariffs as high as 35%. The rationale: even friendly nations could be backdoors for foreign products or threaten US industries. Critics say this approach raises costs and strains alliances, but for Trump, it's about reclaiming economic sovereignty. This is the environment in which Carney must negotiate, balancing US demands with Canada's economic survival. The US tariffs hit Canada hard, especially in steel, aluminum, and auto manufacturing. Canadian exports became instantly more expensive, leading to plummeting orders and factory slowdowns. By mid-2025, steel production dropped 30%, and unemployment ticked up as layoffs spread. The pain wasn't limited to big industry. Ending the de minimis exemption hurt small businesses selling online to US customers. Suddenly, Canadian goods were less attractive in the US, threatening thousands of jobs. The government responded by pausing aggressive environmental mandates to protect the auto sector. Carney's administration faced mounting pressure to support affected workers and industries. The tariffs forced Canada into a defensive posture, scrambling to shield its economy while seeking a long-term solution. The stakes: the livelihoods of families, and the stability of entire communities. Canada's response would shape its economic future. Prime Minister Carney's response combined tough negotiation with targeted support at home. He traveled to Washington for direct talks, signaling a willingness to compromise but not capitulate. To gain leverage, Carney launched a Buy Canadian initiative, redirecting government spending to domestic suppliers. A $1 billion strategic response fund was created to help businesses hit hardest by tariffs and lost U.S. sales. Carney also paused a planned digital services tax and increased defense spending, gestures to address U.S. concerns. At the same time, he dropped many retaliatory tariffs, aiming to de-escalate tensions and show good faith. Critics called this risky, but Carney's strategy was clear: protect Canadian jobs, keep talks alive, and avoid a full-blown trade war. The outcome would depend on whether both sides could find common ground. If Carney secures a deal to reduce or remove tariffs, it could mark a turning point for both businesses and everyday consumers across North America. Such an agreement would not only ease tensions, but also open up new opportunities for growth and innovation. Canadian industries like steel and auto manufacturing, which have faced significant challenges due to trade barriers, would rebound quickly. Factories could ramp up production, bringing back jobs and boosting local economies in communities that rely on these sectors. U.S. companies that depend on Canadian materials would see their costs drop, making it easier to compete both at home and abroad. Lower input prices could encourage investment and expansion, strengthening the manufacturing base. However, American producers who have been shielded by tariffs might face renewed competition, forcing them to innovate and improve efficiency to stay ahead. For consumers, especially in the U.S., ending tariffs could mean lower prices on cars, making new vehicles more accessible to families and individuals who have been priced out of the market. Electronics and other imported goods could also become more affordable, giving shoppers more choices and better value for their money. The 100% tariff on Chinese EVs has kept affordable electric cars out of the U.S. market, limiting options for those seeking to go green or save on fuel costs. Lifting it could spark a price war, driving down costs and making electric vehicles more attainable for average Americans, while encouraging automakers to offer better deals and more innovative models. The North American auto industry, built on cross-border supply chains, would regain efficiency and global competitiveness, helping companies deliver products faster and at lower prices. A deal would restore confidence in the markets, stabilize prices, and encourage businesses to plan for the future with greater certainty. It would also reaffirm the value of regional cooperation, showing that working together can deliver real benefits for everyone involved. The benefits would ripple across both economies, from increased factory activity and job creation to more money in the pockets of families. From factory floors to family budgets, the positive effects would be felt in daily life, making goods more affordable and supporting stable employment. The stakes are high for businesses and consumers on both sides of the border, and the outcome of these negotiations could shape the economic landscape for years to come. These negotiations are about more than tariffs. At their core, they're about the values and vision that will define the next chapter of North America's economic story. The stakes are high, and the decisions made here will ripple far beyond the negotiating table. They're about the future of the U.S.-Canada partnership, a relationship built on trust, mutual benefit, and a long history of working together to solve complex challenges. A deal would reaffirm decades of economic integration and shared prosperity, strengthening the ties that have made both countries more resilient and competitive on the global stage. Especially ahead of the 2026 CUSMA review, the outcome of these talks will shape the rules of trade for years to come. For American industries, lower tariffs could mean cheaper inputs and more jobs, but also tougher competition from Canadian firms. The challenge is finding the right balance, embracing the benefits of free trade, while ensuring that vulnerable workers and communities aren't left behind. The talks highlight how deeply the two economies are linked. Supply chains, energy grids, and even families stretch across the border, making cooperation essential. What happens in one country instantly affects the other. As of October 2025, the outcome is uncertain and both sides are watching closely as negotiations continue. But Carney's efforts have opened the door to a new era of cooperation, signaling hope for a breakthrough that could benefit millions. The result will set the tone for years to come. Whether it's increased collaboration or continued friction, the impact will be felt in every sector. For workers, businesses, and consumers on both sides of the border, the stakes couldn't be higher. Every decision made here will touch daily lives, from the price of goods to the security of jobs. The uncertainty is real, but so is the opportunity. This is a pivotal moment that could redefine prosperity for generations. Ultimately, this is about shaping the world's most successful economic partnership and ensuring it continues to thrive in a rapidly changing world.